Welcome back. You are watching a special broadcast brought to you by SABC News. We're sitting down with President Jacob Zuma looking at the State of the Nation Address that he gave on Thursday. Mr. President, I want us to talk very briefly about the state of provinces. Starting with Limpopo, what's the progress there? Where are things right now?
Well, I think we are making good progress. And Limpopo, as you know, is one of the provinces where we have applied Section 100, precisely because of the difficulties that the province was experiencing. And of course, at the beginning, Section 100 is not a comfortable section to anyone, and therefore the province reacted in the manner in which it did. But there has been very close discussions between the province, the Premier in particular, and the Minister of Finance, and in some discussions I've participated. There is an agreement that we are moving forward. I think there is progress that is being made in terms of implementing it, because Section 100 really, some people understand it wrongly, that it is taking over the province. Not at all. Section 100 comes when there are difficulties that the province faces, where the national comes in to help the province get out of the difficulties. And this is what I think it has been done in Limpopo. Of course, in Limpopo, you have 5 departments. It's the first time that 5 departments in a province are actually focused on. There are other provinces, for an example, Gauteng. There is also intervention that has been made, as well as the Free State intervention that has been made. Some people equate these as one and the same thing, and not exactly the same thing. The conditions that led to an intervention being made in a particular way were not exactly the same. But certainly, in Mpumalanga, we are making good progress. Well,
let's take a province like the Eastern Cape. It's not in the same situation as Limpopo, but is in trouble in various ways. Employment is one of them. Now, I noticed in your speech you alluded to various focus areas where you even linking certain provinces up and rolling out infrastructure there. I didn't hear anything about what happened to the refinery project that was going to, I think, go to the Eastern Cape.
Yeah, well, we did not necessarily specify on one issue, but the infrastructure that we talked about will, in a sense, include those kind of projects insofar as the Eastern Cape is concerned. There are discussions, very serious discussions about refinery in South Africa, and the issue of this very strategic commodity of energy. So it is part of those kind of discussions that we are looking at. And I don't think we could have come and put it in the State of the Nation Address when there are ongoing discussions trying to deal with that matter. The matter is not left unattended to. The matter is being attended to. It is, in fact, in a sense, that discussion is being influenced very greatly by the question of the energy, the fuel in the world, in the global kind of setting. That really makes us even to look at the question of the refineries in a different way.
But 2-3 years ago, the rationale was there as to why we need a refinery. But then beyond that, some of us thought a decision was taken that because of the poverty of the Eastern Cape, but also its proximity to the sea and so on, it would make sense to actually take this project there. And then thereafter, or over the past couple of years, the sort of the issue kind of disappeared. Does that mean that it's back to the drawing board, or the issue is being reviewed? In other words, it's no longer necessarily going to the Eastern Cape.
No. The issue, we didn't cancel the decision. I think there's a question of when that happens, taking into consideration a number of factors that had to come into that debate. All what I'm saying, those matters are coming in more urgently now, given the challenges. And they're not out of the kind of infrastructure that we are talking about. What I was saying, we might not have mentioned the specific issues, but certainly they are part of the equation in the discussions that we have. Not because we are now saying, let us review the decision. It's a question of when it happens. What kind of priorities do we put where? What the viability of it that comes in. Because those are some of the issues that affected the timing of those kind of things. Certainly, we need it there. We need more refineries in South Africa. So that issue cannot go away.
Well, I mean, you didn't mention, you did talk about the southeastern nodes, building dams, revitalization projects in certain parts of the various provinces and so on. But has there been any thinking around a province like the Northern Cape, for example, as to what it is that can be big, massive, and really be done to deal with the plight of the people there?
Yes, I think that was, it was also, the element was in the State of the Nation Address. I think we talked about the importance of establishing the railroad that links the Western Cape, very clear, and also coming to the Eastern Cape because of the manganese that is there. We also talked about the university that we are going to be building in the Northern Cape. So we did touch the Northern Cape rather. There is no province we did not touch. This has been a very broad national infrastructure plan that touches every other province.
Well, during the course of what happened in Limpopo, and when people look at some of what is happening in places like the Eastern Cape and so on, the question has come back again as to whether we shouldn't relook the whole provinces situation. Do we need the provinces, or do we need them in the form that they currently are in? What is your take on that whole debate?
Well, I'm sure the matter will have to be discussed. There was a very comprehensive discussion with regard to the provinces when the debates leading up to the constitutional making came in. As you know, we had 4 provinces in the past that were governed by the administrators. There was a very logical discussion why we needed to have these kind of provinces. Firstly, it had something to do with devolving the powers in the constitution so that they don't sit at the national only. Meaningful kind of powers giving people at a certain level of the country to be able to take decisions about their lives. So it had a lot to do with how we understood democratic processes and the system, as well as the powers that people must participate. That's why we ended up with 3 tiers of government, so that we don't have a center that sits very far from where people are. So if at all the issue of the provinces must come back again, it will mean that debate must come back. What has gone wrong? I'm not sure whether people are looking at the manner in which provinces are run, which is a different matter, or the need for provinces to be there. People will have to come up with very convincing debate to change the status quo. And perhaps that debate must come if it is a debate. Because as I say, there was a very deliberations and discussions which led to us emerging with 9 provinces. It is just 17 years ever since. There are teething problems here and there. You can't say every other province is in crisis, not at all. We don't have a crisis. There are specific issues in the manner in which governance is being run in some provinces, but what was looked at was what kind of powers do people have at different levels? Do all the powers have to reside in Pretoria? Or should others reside at the middle and others at the local government? So it was informed by the approach of what type of a democratic system we're going to exercise that will allow people to take their own decisions. For an example, people vote for the national government, but they also vote for provincial government to say, here, these are the people we believe can help us. They also vote for the local government. That is how these democratic powers were seen as going down to the people so that people participate. We'll have to revive that debate to say, are you now saying we should centralize instead of devolving?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We are going to take another quick ad break. We'll be back right after this.